Welcome to Pyramid Times. Myself, Veena Surbu, VP at Pyramid Times, and we have an amazing guest, Shravan Mahesh, with us today to speak on spiritual entrepreneurship. Shravan Mahesh is a successful entrepreneur who was running his business for last 6 years. He is the founder of Twamevaham Consulting Private Limited and ETM Automation Private Limited. Through Twamevaham Consulting, he provides therapeutic services like inner child healing, family constellations, regression therapies, and also transformative workshops. Through ETM automation, he provides services such as artificial intelligence integration, digital manufacturing and design, and engineering automation services to some of the Fortune 500 companies. He has degrees such as Bachelor of Technology in Mechanical Engineering and MBA from the University of Madras, MBA in Executive Management from University of Virginia. He is also an author of 3 books and also a philanthropist. He became a trustee in Pyramid Dhyan Prachar Foundation, Pune, at the age of 30, which makes him the youngest trustee in the history of Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement. And his passion is in both spirituality and technology. With this, I welcome Shravan Mahesh to Pyramid Times Show. Welcome,
Thank you.
Shravan.
Thank you, Pyramid Times, and thank you, Veena, for inviting me today. And I'm happy to participate in this interview. Thank you.
Yeah. And I see you have a beautiful blend of spirituality and entrepreneurship. When this idea come to you to have both spirituality and also entrepreneurship in the.
Okay, so the seeding of entrepreneurship had started when I was around 19 years old. Like I got introduced into spirituality and meditation in the year 2004. And in year 2005, I was actively participating in spreading this meditation through an organization called PIMA, which is Pyramid Aim Masters Association. So, I was the joint secretary there, and there used to be another guy who is secretary. So he is also an engineering student, like he's just 1 year senior to me, but he was running some network marketing business, and also he was running one library, one concept called give books for a subscription. So he named it as Swadhyaya. So I used to actively participate in his business of Swadhyaya, and also I was enthusiastic in joining this network marketing along with him. So that's how the seeding of entrepreneurship happened in me in the year 2005. So later to that, again, I think I was into corporate world. I was an employee for around 6 to 7 years, and then in the year 2015, again this the time had come for me to fully venture into entrepreneurship, and then I started my company in the year 2015.
That's amazing. And what challenges people usually face in starting off a business?
Okay, so if you ask me what challenges I faced, the first challenge would be lack of support, because I was, like, the first generation entrepreneur. Even like not even in 2015, the first time when I wanted to start a business, the network marketing business, I need some investment, the investment of around 5,000 rupees. So, and I was dependent on my father. So I asked him for this money, and then there was a certain argument with him, and then he told me, like, you couldn't even earn 10 rupees, but you are asking me 5,000 rupees. So, and I felt little hurt during that time, and then I went to a railway station and taken luggages of few people and brought 20 rupees and shown him, like, okay, see, now you asked me 10 rupees, I cannot earn, I got 20 rupees, but still he did not give me that investment of 5,000 rupees. So that dream got what you call
Shattered.
shattered. And then in 2015, also when I started my company, I required some money also, money and moral support. The moral support mostly I was getting from inside, but money I was not having. So money is the when you are starting a business, you need a lot of moral support, motivation, and you need money, and then you need strategy, which is the third thing. But when you are starting business, you don't have these three things. So these are the major challenges anyone faces when they start business.
And I do see that when you have started your business, you felt sleepless nights also. And can you emphasize more around it?
It was not I actually when I started my business, but during the course of entrepreneurship, there were some challenges actually. The major challenge came to me in the year 2016, by the end of 2016, where my mission, which I kept, the purpose of the business, which I kept, got shattered. So when I started my business, I kept my mission as to create an abundant and happy life, like to spread this abundance and happiness, and to empower everyone. But some situations happened in my life, in my career in business, such that then I got understood this is an unrealistic goal which I had kept. So I cannot make everyone happy. So then it was shattered, and that's where a lot of inner changes happened. And so, with what perspective I started my business completely changed, and that's where I went into a lot of inner search and questioning myself, my purpose. So that's where I went into this sleeplessness, and also some personal family issues which happened.
And how did spirituality address these issues in your business?
Yeah, actually, I would say spirituality only helped me. Otherwise, I would have not been alive today. Seeing the situations and some things. Even when I tell to people the kind of situations I undergo, like they say, "Why are you still alive? How are you still alive?" This is how they respond. So basically, how spirituality helped me is to be detached. So the first lesson which I try to implement is, okay, whatever is happening in this world, in this materialistic world, in this social world or in this physical world. Whereas, but I am the soul. I am unattached by all these things. So that is the first help I got from spirituality. This is what even Bhagavad Gita always says, like, is what the message to Arjuna by Lord Krishna. So even when Arjuna was trying to fight the war, there are a lot of situations for him where he cannot go ahead. But what Lord Krishna says, you still fight the war without being attached. So this is how spirituality had helped me to become little bit detached from the emotional environment and all these uh, challenges which I'm facing emotionally and financially and uh, all the way. Yeah, this is how spirituality had helped me.
Are there any spiritual practices that you would have employed or you recommend for the viewers in day in and day out?
Yeah, so my guru always says three things, which is Dhyan, Swadhyay, and Sajjan Sangat. My guru Brahmarshi Patriji, he always stresses on these three aspects, which is Dhyan, Swadhyay, and Sajjan Sangatya. So Dhyan will help us to be watchful and to be detached, like we can be a witness to what is happening in a non-reactive mode. Is a practice which we can make on a daily basis, to be non-attached, to be more non-reactive to what is happening in our daily life. And Swadhyay means reading the right books. And I during my crisis, I read lot many books. Like I would say, in 1 year, the audiobooks I had taken a subscription, and daily I would read two books. So, like the clarity and the knowledge and wisdom what we get by reading books is very much helpful for entrepreneurship, because even if you see any entrepreneur, he reads a lot of books, and I have around 2000 plus books which are related to entrepreneurship, which are related to self development, and which are related to management and more. And this is what Swadhyay and Sajjan Sangatya. This is very important actually. Um, Sajjan Sangatya means being with the like-minded people, being with the people who are aligned with your mission, who are aligned with your purpose. And basically, what happens is there will be a lot of energy exchange. Like as an businessman, as an entrepreneur, like I used to interact with at least 20 to 30 people on a daily basis from morning to evening. So you just see how much of uh, energy exchange happen, and how much of uh, disturbance happens within our consciousness. So this can be maintained by being with these like-minded people. And this is how it helps. Even for me, when I went into depression, so only the people who are aligned with my purpose, aligned with spirituality, had come to my rescue. Like, when I go there, I feel relaxed, I feel at peace. Yeah, these are the three suggestions I would give to entrepreneurs.
That's very simple and very practical indeed. And how to get a entrepreneurial spirit, and what were your source of inspiration? Is it parents or fellow colleagues?
Okay, so basically, what happened was in the year 2014, I conducted a workshop. I have a passion to conduct workshops. At that time, I created a concept called Spirit of Management. This I conducted in my company where I was working, to all managers. So, what is the spirit of management? So when I was conducting, I used to understand what is the how the management has evolved. Like, from day old, in before industries, how the management was happening, how scientific management, Tyler's scientific management had come into place, and slowly how the management is evolving day by day, and what we are seeing today. So this is how I try to understand. At that time, there used to be one. I used to read something about Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker is a father of management, and then also I used to research on holistic management. So what is holistic management? So this had given me the base when I started my business, when I started my entrepreneurship journey. So what is the purpose? Like, why, how I can move from different quadrants in holistic management. Like, when I was employee, I was working for someone. When I started my business, I was thinking I was working for me, but I was the biggest servant in my company, and I was actually serving a purpose. I was trying to work towards a purpose. So that's how this holistic management had helped me stay aligned, and the principles of holistic management had made me stay aligned with the purpose.
It's a purpose that is driving you.
Yeah, so most of the times in entrepreneurial journey, like, there will be a lot of distractions. There will be days when we don't have any money. There will be days where we will be having huge money, and there is always this roller coaster ride. Entrepreneurial journey is not a thing going on the straight line. It is the roller coaster. One day is good, one day is bad. All these things happen. So to maintain ourselves, we need some kind of detached perspective towards materialism. So that will help us to face both sides of the life, both sides of business.
What is the key driving force to become an entrepreneur?
It depends person to person. Like, at every stage, also after becoming an entrepreneur, the motivation changes. In my life, when I started my entrepreneurial journey, it was more because of the hurt or anger. Like, I used to I felt hurt because my manager had told me that I cannot become a good manager. So just out of proving him that he's wrong, that's how I went into starting my company. So that was the driving force initially. And then, as I said, like slowly as the experiences come to us, as we face certain situations, we evolve, and also the driving force changes, and then we always need to find our why. So every day, because for an entrepreneur, it's a daily question because of because of the challenges he face. Every day there will be a question: why I have to run this business? Why I have to face all these circumstances? So why can't I sleep peacefully without looking at or without facing all these challenges? Because once the why is more clear and more deeper, you will get certain peace and certain clarity in running it. So everyone has to find their own motivation. It can be anything, uh, but until you are clear of what you want, you cannot get what you wanted.
So knowing your why is very important.
Yes.
And how
Can
did
be
you?
anything. I cannot say that your why should be this.
Right.
Your why can be like you want to earn more money. That can also be your why. You want to serve something, or you want to fight for something. That can also be your why. Whatever be the why, but you have to know what is your why and what is why your soul wanted to pursue it.
Like, what is our target? What we
Yeah.
are supposed to achieve?
Yes.
Right. And how did you come up with the name of your company?
Okay. So basically, when I started my business, like I need to register a name with the government. So I had sent them 10 names. 10 names got rejected. And then I suddenly remembered one experience which I had in the year 2005. So in the year 2005, I was into deep meditation, and then I had a certain interaction with Lord Shiva, where at that time I was eagerly looking for liberation. So I had a experience where I met him astrally, and then I requested him to liberate me. Like I wanted my soul to again join in him. Then I heard that you will not rejoin me, and then after some time I heard the words "You are me." You are me. So these are the words I heard. This is in the year 2005 when I was 19 years old. Later to that, I slowly understood what Lord Shiva meant and what is Advaita, why he said this. Then suddenly, when 10 names got rejected by government, this sparked within me that you are me. So I translated it into Sanskrit. So you are me, I translated like Tvam Eva Aham. So that's how my company name. This I sent, government immediately accepted. So I thought like this is really good.
It sounds more Indian, and maybe they connect more, resonate with it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's very amazing and very interesting to know.
yeah.
And what's your greatest entrepreneurial achievement to be proud of?
Mm, I cannot say materialistically, uh, but my entrepreneurial achievement is finding my true self. So before that, I used to think about me something, but the journey of entrepreneurship makes you aware of all our shortcomings.
Right.
And because the challenges and the interactions with people, the relationships we make, and the evolution happens, slowly we get to know our true self. And that's what has been my core motive deep inside me, to know who I am really. And that's what I say my greatest achievement in entrepreneurship is. And still I am searching, still I am finding myself, and still I am continuing my entrepreneurial journey.
Like universe is infinite, I think we are also having that grandiose self within ourselves, which we keep on exploring and unleashing our own.
Yeah. So there is a lot of potential and lot of things we don't know about us.
Correct.
And entrepreneurship can help us to, see, basically entrepreneurship is like an reflection. So when I am, it's basically my own personality is reflected in my business,
Right.
in my company. So it's a kind of reflection, and then there is a lot of scope for experimentation and then learning. So this is how I get to know about myself, and then there are a lot of lessons learned in the journey. And
So, being an entrepreneur, how can we grow our own business and also growth of our own selves? Is it a separate or is it going hand in hand?
so I would always say, and first you have to grow yourself, then only business will grow. There are no separate. Like I every time tell lot of people will tell I will first settle in my business. I will grow my business to some extent, and then I will work on myself. But that doesn't happen. So the more you work on yourself, the more your business will grow. So there is a lot of interrelationship between you and your business. I was thinking to quote Abdul Kalam. I read a book called Ignited Minds. I'm just not remembering the exact quote, but it's mostly about we are taking one jug and taking the water from something from a pond or something, but that pond is yourself. But you are taking a jug and trying to think that this jug is what you are. Hmm? Yeah. So basically, entrepreneurship is always about knowing yourself and trying to find yourself. This is what I always say to people. So if you want to grow your business, grow yourself. Know yourself and improve yourself.
That is so true. And what is your advice for these startup entrepreneurs?
Yeah, startup entrepreneurs, be strong. So there will be a lot of things a lot of changes happening, and as you scale, as you grow, there will be lot many challenges. Every time I was feeling today is the worst day. I had faced most number of challenges today, but tomorrow I will be facing more number of challenges, because entrepreneurship is not the walking on roses. There will be a lot of thorns, lot of risks we need to take, and then a lot of leveraging we need to do. We need to trade off something. Sometimes we need to trade off family time, because your time for business is more important. Sometimes you need to trade off your personal time. So there will be a lot of trading off done, a lot of leveraging need to be done. But you need to be strong enough to see it through the success. There will be the time is the deciding factor here. How much time you can stick on, and you can stand up for yourself and then take it forward. That will determine whether you will succeed or whether you will fail.
So, do you believe in destiny or do you think you can control your fate?
Okay. So when I was young, I was always thinking that I can control my fate. But slowly, as I grow, the destiny is also you have created for yourself. Destiny is also okay, before, if you get into too much of spirituality and understand where you are coming from and why you have taken this birth, and why you have chosen this parents, why you have chosen this life, and you have created already that destiny. That's what you call it as fate, which you have already created. So basically, if you just be aligned to that, most of the things are more clear. Otherwise, we fight a lot. Just now I was hearing one nice story. Like, there used to be one politician who went as a guest to some other's home, and there were a lot of dogs which were barking, and he could not sleep in the night. And he was always complaining, these dogs were barking, and he was not happy with that. In the same house, there used to be another yogi. He was sleeping peacefully. And then this politician asked this yogi, how can I sleep peacefully? The dogs are barking. And then this yogi tell, like, who are you to control dogs? Who, like, why you want the dogs to stop barking? Why can't you just change your perspective? Let dogs bark. So this is the basic conflict we have with fate and destiny. So when we have some experiences in our life which are not aligned to our own personality, our own thought process, we tell, okay, this I want to change. This I want to transform. This I want to do something. I want to control. Like, this is how the whole drive happens when you are young, and when you wanted to you will try to, like, go and take the dogs and put it in a bone, or shed their things. You try all these things, but it's mostly about changing the perspective. Okay, fate is also your destiny. Like, fate is what you have created for yourself, and once you are okay with it, okay with whatever is happening in your surroundings, so you will feel mental peace first. You will feel the peace inside, and then automatically you can move ahead from there, and you can change your destiny, or you can live with it, but nothing changes, nothing matters now, because you are okay with your fate. So to answer your question, I believe more in fate than controlling my destiny, because fate is also my destiny. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's aligning to your own higher purpose at the same time, going
Yes.
by our own desires.
Yes. Yes. That's nice thing which you told. Like, fate is our higher purpose. You can take it up, because that's how you have created your life, and your higher self. When you created your life from a deeper plane, like, from an astral plane or from a causal plane, you had much higher awareness. But now your awareness and your perspective has been very much narrowed, and you wanted to change it because you are trying to copy others. You are trying to do something what others did. So that's where we get into this conflict, and we try to use our mind more. We try to use our intent, our power, willpower,
Mm.
all these things.
Which are very limited
Yes, which
perspective.
are very limited. Yes, and then once you get aligned with your core purpose, why you are born, and you know what, then automatically you get into a kind of flow. You'll flow with life
Correct.
instead
And
of.
things will get aligned for us.
Yes, yes, and that's what spiritual entrepreneurship and normal that's a major difference. So a spiritual entrepreneur is in the flow. He's not fighting more. He's not running more for success. Success is happening to him naturally. And normal entrepreneur, he's crying, he's fighting, and then he wanted to control. He wanted to do this, do that. But a normal entrepreneur, what happens is he will achieve more fame, he will achieve more success, he will achieve more money, but he cannot be happy in life. But a spiritual entrepreneur can be happy because he's at ease with life. He's into the flow stage. So his destiny, his vision, and his fate are aligned. Yeah,
That's
that's
beautifully put. Truly amazing.
yeah.
How do you think that being an entrepreneur has turned you into a better person?
Yeah, as already said, like, before starting my company, I used to be very adamant, and like, I used to think that I knew everything. I used to think, like, people who are at the top, they are all wrong. All these politicians are wrong. All the long business people are wrong. I am the only person who is right. So this used to be my perspective before starting my company. So then, as I went into business, as I started to see the challenges one by one, then I could understand the limitations of what all these high business people have, and high profile politicians have, and people who are at the top of the ladder. So I used to see the limitations, and I used to see the issues what they face, and slowly I got, yes, I started to empathize them. I started to understand them, and then I slowly transformed from that young, adamant, rebellious person to more adaptable and humble and understanding person. So this is how entrepreneurship had helped me.
That is very amazing. And I have seen the way you dealt in the workshops, the qualities that you have grown up maybe for those years. They are very evident in the workshops that you
Yeah.
conduct. And what was the toughest moment you have experienced in your business?
Okay, yeah, this is little hard to tell. So actually, it was a phase in my life. So what happened was, as I said, when I started my company with the philosophy of "you are me," right? The Tvameva Aham philosophy. This is how I started my business. But I experienced some betrayal. So I experienced some betrayal, not from one person, from multiple people at the same time. So first, my employees, a few of my employees had betrayed me, and then it was a little shock. I was still not able to process it, and then my, what you call, wife had betrayed me, and my father had betrayed me. Again, not a business partner, he betrayed me. So it was continuously facing this betrayal again and again, and it was I was not able to understand. I was thinking everyone are me, I was trying to believe everyone are me, and that's how I'm getting into the trust mode. But when people show their
Watching
greed,
your
or
face.
yeah, people show their greed, this is what is the most challenging part for me. When people try to uh, use or take advantage by mere, just because of their greed, that had hurted me a lot. And then I did not have a clarity of this mission, or this philosophy got broken. And that was the toughest time for me, because I don't know whom to work for at that time, because everyone in my life, like whoever, all the stakeholders who are going to benefit from my success. So when their greed was uh, being manifested, so that was the toughest time for me.
And how did you succeed and get over and move forward?
Yeah, as I said, again, getting more into my own self, inner search. At that time only I started to write some quotes. I used to, uh, every day I used to do meditation, get some insights from inside. And I think for almost 3 to 4 years, I was always getting these insights, inner clarity to deal with that situation. So initially there was a lot of anger coming in. There was a lot of resentment coming in, and I was being watchful about it. And also I started to read the right books, and I started to understand more deeper aspects of spirituality. Then I used to spend more on my self development. I started to read Upanishads, and I started to read many books during that time. And I started to read Ashtavakra Gita. I started to read Lao Tzu. I started to read Shiva Sutras. All these high, the highest spiritual knowledge what our rishis had written. So once I started to read it, there was certain perspective coming in. There was certain clarity coming in, and then these situations what I was facing become, I could understand them, why they were happening. And and then I could relate why this had happened during this time. Because if this did not happen, this could have not led me into the path of self-search. I would have been more extrovert, like I would have displayed more of my wealth, or got into this pop star mode. I could have become a pop star or that kind of mode, but I started to become more real, more truthful. Yeah.
That's very nice to know. And is there any vision to offer support or coaching for upcoming entrepreneurs?
I'm always happy to do that because there used to be one sloka which I read. It's called Gurulu Sishulella Paripalana Parul. So it was a quote from Veera Brahmendra Swami. He's a spiritual person who belongs to the same area where I grew up. So what he meant was, in this world, everyone is a teacher in some perspective and a student in some other perspective. At every level, we are learning something, and at every level, we need to give back something. So there are always people whom we can help using our knowledge. So if my experience and if my intelligence can help someone, I'm always happy to do that.
And how can people reach out to you?
Yeah, my website is there, www.sravanmahesh.com. All my contact details you can get. Even if you go to Google, my contact details are there. My mail IDs are public, and my phone numbers are public. So you can reach out to me from my website.
Yeah, it's truly inspirational listening to you how to thread on the entrepreneurial journey. And definitely, we are looking forward for more sessions from you or workshops, webinars from you. Thank you so much, Shravan, for joining us today.
Thank you, Veena, and thank you, Pyramid Times. Like, people who are watching this video, try to subscribe to Pyramid Times and then share to as many people as you can, because they are trying to get people like me and a lot of people into spirituality, and who are scientists, who are authors. So they are getting a lot of people and interviewing them and trying to get the inner wisdom and the experiential knowledge from them. So try to subscribe, and also you need to press the bell icon so that you get notifications for new videos, and share this, and also comment your what you liked in this video, and also you can comment what you did not like also, so that we are also learning. And thank you very much for watching this video. Namaste.